Now, Annelise, you're there because Remembrance Day in the next couple of days, but obviously you've also had a chance to talk to some people who help our soldiers, and they're not that sold on a Royal Commission.
Not at all, and it's not surprising when you look at an organisation as big as the Defence Force that there is going to be difference of opinions. There's going to be a variety of experiences coming out of the Defence Force as well, so you don't want to start saying that everyone agrees one way or the other. But we wanted to come here to Townsville. It's the largest garrison city in the country where so many veterans are leaving the Defence Force and wondering what to do next, and that's really the key time where we see that they are coming into trouble. The suicide rates are awful. It's more than double the chance for a man who's left the Defence Force to commit suicide under the age of 30 compared to the rest of the population. But that does also need the important caveat that suicide is the leading cause of death for young people under the age of 35. But there are issues facing the Defence Force in particular. The veterans we've spoken to today, they've said that there are the common issues: substance abuse, drugs and alcohol. There's the issues with having a place in the world when they're in the Defence Force and then feeling cast adrift when they leave. But the question of whether a Royal Commission will help does seem to be very divisive. The veterans we spoke to today who have been taking steps to address mental health have said that they know where the problems are, they just need the money.
There's a lot of money floating around, and I don't think a Royal Commission would really help. We all know what the problem is. Listen to us and other groups that have the input. We deal with soldiers on a daily basis.
I honestly think that you wouldn't get anything out of it for the money that they're going to cost. I think people in the positions already know what the problems are, but they're scared to say them for alienating part of the community. And the part of the problem is that the veteran community is so broad.
Now, Paul, these are pretty impressive guys. That Anthony Mexner, you can see there, has started an app with his friends, and it's all about getting those healthy habits back into your lives. It's started by veterans, for veterans, and it's one of those things where they haven't seen a lot of support come through financially. They're saying that this money that's going to a Royal Commission could help with things like that, but those mothers you spoke to were awfully convincing as well. It's such a heartbreaking issue, and one that does need answers about where this money is going, because taxpayers want to know that as well. And so this is what we're looking at the lead up to Remembrance Day. We're going to be speaking to veterans here on the ground, some of the programs that have been started by veterans, some of the ones that have been started by different organisations as well. And we will be speaking with the local member, Phil Thompson, as well. He is a veteran himself and has faced some of the issues that we know these veterans are facing. And so that's the discussion we want to have in the lead up to Remembrance Day.
Well, I tell you what, Philip Thompson's a bloke who you and I know very well, spoken to him on and off the air and shared a meal with him in Canberra. He is exactly the type of person that I'd love to hear from on this issue. He's also the type of bloke who's not going to hold back, so if he thinks it's the place to go. I'm so glad that he's in the Parliament. He's not going to be a fluke. He's going to be there for a very, very long time. Can you do me a favour, by the way? Can you go back to that coffee shop and buy one of their shirts? I'll have the triple extra large. I need a hat as well, please. I love their merch. It's a very good look. Now, also let's talk here about the issues in and around Veterans Affairs. I think there's something very interesting that one of the mothers said when we were sitting around this table a little earlier in the week, and I know that you saw that and commented it on your own show, which was, it's not just when you leave the Defence Force, but it's also what happens while you are being trained, effectively the process of breaking you down to put you back together. Well, those that they can't put back together stay broken. Have you been able to pick up much of that in the past couple of days, or will you look into that with some of the people you're going to have a chat to?
That's absolutely something we're going to look into, and what I've been hearing so far is that the experiences are just so varied depending on which part of the Defence Force you're working with, what kind of work you're doing, how specialised it is, and there is always that pervasive issue of mental health right across the community, that some people will be more vulnerable to that than others, but that doesn't mean the responsibility isn't there, that if that injury is sustained, that there isn't something that can be done for them, and that's something that is really going to have to be under focus, and it's something that the argument for a Royal Commission is that you're not going to see that unless they are forced to give evidence on it. And so it's absolutely a very persuasive argument. But for a lot of the people we've spoken to, they've said that they have had those mental health issues coming out because it is stressful. There is a very high prevalence of PTSD, but it's accessing that support that's so hard. It's all those forms. It's all the paperwork that really does get them undone, because you're already really not right, but when you're going into that process, and it just makes it that much harder. So those are absolutely issues we'll be looking at as well.
Well, Annelise, you're a good egg. I think it was fantastic. It was your idea to get there. I'm so glad Sky News decided to send you there, because you definitely care about this issue as much as the rest of us do on telly. You'll do some great reporting as well, and I'm pleased to see the good people of North Queensland have responded to the call. Television camera at about, 9, and you're at the Strand, so they've got the loud mufflers out and they're making their points very well heard. All
and
the
everyone's
best.
been so well behaved, they must be showing me a bit of respect.
Correct. By the way, go and say good day to Danny at the Watermark restaurant. Pay full price, but he's a very good man. All right. Thank you, Annelise.
Will do. Thank you.